Ma, now is it audible? Super ma. Ma, Supraja, இன்னைக்கு தான் நீங்க first day join பண்றீங்களா? Supraja. நான் இன்னைக்கு தான் first time பார்க்குறேன். Supraja. Good morning da. இன்னைக்கு தான் first time join பண்றீங்களா? Okay. From where are you calling, Supraja? I mean, like, from where are you attending your class? ஐயோ அந்த வேற இல்லடா, சென்னையா இல்லை வேற ஏதாவது ஊரா, அந்த அது மாதிரி கேட்டேன். சென்னை தானே? சென்னையில் எங்கே? ஆவடி. அப்போனா ஓகேம்மா, ரொம்ப தூரம் தான். சரிம்மா, இப்போ ரெக்கார்டிங் கிளாஸ் பார்க்குறீங்களே, இந்த பசங்கிட்ட நான் சொல்கிறேன்ல, ரிப்பீட் 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 ரிப்பீட்னு ரிப்பீட் பண்ணுறீங்களா? சத்தியமா? சரி, ஓகே. That is not a problem. Otherwise, if you are seeing recording from home, then okay, you should repeat. இன்னொன்று ஏதோ கேட்கணும்னு நினச்சேனே. Sometimes I ask these people to write and see. You are doing it. Lazy bug. Lazy bug. Now, next question. Yesterday I gave homework for these people. You did? Lazy lady man you are. Do it immediately. See, நம்ம கிளாஸ் அட்டென்ட் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கிறதுனால எந்த யூஸுமே கிடையாது. என்கிட்டன்னு சொல்ல வரல, ஓகேவா? யார்கிட்ட போனாலுமே இருக்கிறதுலே பெஸ்ட்டுன்னு யாராவது ஒருத்தர் எடுப்பாங்கல்ல. நான் தான் பெஸ்ட்டுன்னு சொல்ல வரல, பட் இருக்கிறதே பெஸ்ட்டுன்னு யாராவது someone will be there definitely. God of something அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. Even if you go to him and learn something also, you should take efforts. Only then it will sit in your mind. ஓகே? அண்ட் நம்ம மைண்டில் உட்காந்தா தான் நம்மளால் எக்ஸாமில் உட்கார முடியும். அதனால் கிளாஸ் ஒரு பக்கம், கிளாஸுக்கு ஈக்குவலாக we also should give efforts. சரியா? ஸோ டுடே ஆன்வர்ட்ஸ் ட்ரை டு ஸ்டிக் ஆன் டு வாட் எவர் ஹோம்ஒர்க் யூ ஆர் பீன் கிவன். அதே போல் காலேஜ் படிச்சுக்கிட்டே ஹேண்டில் பண்ணும் போது இட் கம்ஸ் வித் இட்ஸ் ஓன் டிஃபிகல்ட்டி. அதனால் என்னால் எதுவுமே சொல்ல முடியல. பட் இஃப் யூ வாண்ட் எனி அசிஸ்டன்ஸ்னால் எப்படி பிளான் பண்ணுறது, எப்படி நேவிகேட் பண்ணலாம், இன்னும் 40 days இருக்குது, எப்படி நம்மளால் புஷ் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது உங்களுக்கு டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணணும்னு தோணுச்சுன்னா யூ கேன் ஆல்வேஸ் கால் மீ அப். ஓகே? மை நம்பர் வில் பி 9003196014. திஸ் இஸ் மை நம்பர். ஓகே? அண்ட் மை நேம். சரியா? யூ கேன் ஆல்வேஸ் கால் மீ. நாட் ஓன்லி ஹர், if anyone who's feeling difficulty, they want some guidance, they don't know where to start from, or if they are stuck somewhere, you can definitely call me. Seriya? Okay ma. Seri, so I was discussing that. Shall I erase my number? Sir, Hari sir, YouTube la poguma recording. Ayyo, Google Meet la amchirukkumo number. Seri ma, பார்த்துக்கலாம், எரேஸ் பண்ண சொல்லிடலாம் சார், கட் பண்ணி சொல்லிடலாம். சரிம்மா, ஈச் சாப்டர் யூ வில் பி டேக்கிங் கீ நோட்ஸ். கீ நோட்ஸ்னால் என்னம்மா? கீ நோட்ஸ் மீன்ஸ் சைட் ஹெட்டிங்ஸ். அதாவது ஃபஸ்ட்டு வில் கம் டாபிக், வாட் டாபிக் வி ஆர் ஸ்டடிங். எக்ஸாம்பிள் என்னப்பா? சே ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் breach of contract. Breach of contract will be the heading. Under that, side heading will be, what is the first breach ma? Default. Another, what is the first one ma? Default by performance, whatever it is. Able to understand? Adukku keela keyword will be written, keywords or key phrases. Key phrases will be written. Now this is how we have to write the key notes, and this will be for each chapter we will be writing at least 2 to 3, and it may go up to 5 pages also if the chapter is a big chapter. Correct? Now what I request you to do is, this is left side of the paper and this is right side of the paper. Correct? If you are starting each chapter from the right side of the paper, left side of the paper should be ideally kept blank. Why abdina? I want you to write only keywords which you are going to use in your answers. Able to understand? When you are writing keywords, it should not be phrases or sentences. Able to understand? Clear? So you will stick on to those words. Ma'am, give me example. Ma, I will write remission. recession, novation, alteration, அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து personal consideration, personal confidence, இந்த மாதிரி what all key words are there, that alone I will write. அப்போ this entire page will have only keywords. Maximum you will have 30 keywords in this page, 30 to 40 keywords. Okay, so when you are trying to revise a chapter, how you should proceed is, you will first try to do this keywords. You will read this keyword, try to memorize this 30 to 40 keywords. Now once you try to memorize the keywords, you are having good confidence on the keywords. With that keywords, go into the 2 to 3 pages notes. Okay, in that notes how you will study topic, side heading, adukku keela irukka key phrases, correct? Now you will get already keywords and phrases la is somewhere already, some part of the keywords are already here, isn't it? Now when you are using phrases, it will be easy for you to get the confidence in that particular area. With that we will learn the topic and the side headings. Able to understand? So once this entire work is completed, I can for sure say, and this you have to do 2 to 3 times, bare minimum at least 2 times, and the third time should be 1 day before the exam. 1 day before the exam you should do. So appo exam ku munadi at least 2 times we should have revised it. There is no chance that you are leaving this law subject. Minimum we can guarantee 60 plus. Minimum guarantee 60 plus. Ana adukana effort edu. Ma'am, should I do this for every chapter? Ma, at least I want you to do it for contract, soga, partnership, companies. At least for 4 chapters you do. Able to understand, ma? Clear? Okay, so shall we get into today's topic? You have understood? Idhila edavadhu doubt irukka? Ma'am, indala neengale engalukku panni thara maattingala? Ma, neenga da exam ezhudringa. Okay, you have to do. Idhila na enna ma'am panna mudiyum? Idhila I can mark what is the key phrases for you. I can identify and I can give more concentration on those keywords and key phrases. I can highlight you those key phrases, but you only have to sit and write notes. Okay, when you are writing, it involves more time and efforts, but you cannot be listening to music and writing. No, when you are writing, you should take efforts to study and write. Study, write. Illaya study படிச்சு எழுத முடியல, பார்த்து ப்ராப்பரா நோட்ஸ் எழுது, அதுக்கப்புறம் அதை படிச்சு நீ தனியா டெஸ்ட் எழுது. Able to understand? Clear? All of this you have to do. Now foundationக்கு இதெல்லாம் பண்ண சொல்றீங்களே, இதுக்கப்புறம் இன்டருக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்? மா, இன்டருக்கு also you will do this from day 1 itself. We will not wait for exam to come, then we should start doing. ஏன்னா இப்போ வந்து நீங்க எல்லாருமே first time you are meeting me, correctா? When we are there in the regular class, we will do this from day 1 itself. அப்போ just like any other subject, law will also be very very easy for you. Able to understand? That will be the focus. That should be the focus for us. No subject is difficult. Everything I will make it easy. அப்படின்ற thought process la you should start your studies. Okay va? புரிஞ்சுதா? Let us get into today's topic. Yesterday we discussed about so many things in Companies Act. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி what did we saw? Breach. What are the 2 types of breach? Actual breach and attempted breach. Actual breach and attempted breach. Now anticipatory, good ma, very good ma. Actual breach and anticipatory breach. Now when can you call something as anticipatory breach? Performance is due. Performance is due. Even before performance date had arrived, you have to go and say that you are not ready to perform, or it should be expressly told or impliedly understood. Okay, what does the law give to us as a solution? You can rescind the contract, suit for damages and claim compensation. First option. Second option enema? True, you can wait for the time. You can wait for the time that is allotted for performance on the day of performance, and then you can go and do whatever you want to do. You can file a case or claim compensation, whatever you want to do, you can do after waiting for that period. On the day of performance, up to that you have to wait, and then you can rescind the contract. Now, because of waiting until the date of contract, what is the benefit we are getting? There could be a possibility of supervening impossibility. In the supervening impossibility is a advantage for whom and disadvantage for whom? Advantage for the promisee and disadvantage from the promisor. Able to understand? The promisee can say, sir, I am supposed to come and perform, okay, no problem, but there's a very heavy cyclone, I cannot travel. Okay, supervening impossibility, no one can do anything about it, contract comes to an end. Able to understand? Now we saw what are the types of breach. Types of breach. Next, what did we study under breach? Now we saw in case of breach what all options we have. What all options we have, correct? What all options we have? First one, you can sue for damages. It is not suit, it is sue. Sued for damages. Next, recession of the contract. Next one, specific performance, injunction. Last one, quantum merit, specific performance, injunction. One more. Ma, open your books. CNC. One single voice, ma. Everyone in one single voice. Suit upon quantum merit. One more time repeat, ma. Everyone repeat. Open your mouth and repeat. It should be at your best pitch. Come on. Suit for damages, recession of contract, quantum merit. Under suit for damages, we saw different types of damages. What are the different types of damages? Ma, close your books. Try to first recollect. Now, you know how our brain works. Ma, we have to break that overconfidence of our brain. Okay, you cannot open your book and say. If you open your book and say, our eyes know, it is so structured that even if you are not willing to see, automatically it will see your books and your brain will take the information. Correct? So you have to make sure that overconfidence is straight away striked out. Upon you close pannittu, if you are trying to recollect, then your brain long. Okay, I don't remember, sorry, manchiko. Okay, then you have to try to study one more time. Study two more time. Then the brain will understand. Next time ivan kekkumbodhu nama correct badil solnu. Okay, appo and the brain vandu and the memory power la adha vechukom. And the information it will keep it. Okay, so whatever you are studying for the first time, it will be very difficult to recollect when you go to the next time. Okay, that time you have to make sure that you are trying to recollect. Only then your brain will try to fetch more details. It will try to retain the information. Okay, purida na solradhu. Okay, now what are the types of damages, ma? Ordinary damages, special damages, exemplary or vindictive damages. Next, nominal damages. Next, damage, deterioration, delay. Damage for deterioration caused by delay. Okay, last one, last damages, prefixed damages. Now in simple terms we have to explain all these damages. Ordinary damages are nothing but damage that is caused due to any loss due to non-performance of the contract. Whatever loss that the person has sustained, that if you are claiming abdina, it will come under ordinary damages. If at all you have suffered any special loss, okay, and if you want to recover that loss as a damage from the person, then you have to give a special notice. Then it is called as special damages. Now when it comes to vindictive or exemplary damages, in only two situations you can claim these damages. When? First one, if you are cancelling your marriage. Second one, if in case of dishonor of any negotiable any instrument by the banker due to, and this dishonor should be wrongful dishonor by the banker. Able to understand? Wrongful dishonor, which means without the mistake of the customer, the bank should have dishonored the instrument. Then you can take the damage. What damage? Exemplary damage or vindictive damage. Damage due to deterioration caused by delay. Because of the delay, there is some deterioration in the quality of the goods. Therefore, to cover that deterioration loss, we will take that loss in the name of damage due to deterioration caused by delay from the person who have breached the contract. Able to understand? Then last one is prefixed damage. This prefixed damage, if you want to take this prefixed damage, what is the condition, ma? It should be mentioned in the contract. It should be mentioned in the contract, and both of us should have agreed on the prefixed nature and then what is the amount of the prefixed damage, correct? Now we studied about when we say prefixed damage, what are the two things that are coming in mind? Penalty and liquidated damages. Now in Indian law, is there any difference between penalty and liquidated damage? No. But in English law, there is difference between penalty and liquidated damage. When you say liquidated damages, you are trying to only recover the loss that one person has sustained. But when you say penalty, it is of penal nature. It is so heavy that if the person, it is a force that is acting on the opposite person. For example, இப்போ recent-ஆ if you are not wearing helmets அப்படின்னா they have increased the fine from 1000 rupees to 5000 rupees. ஹெல்மெட்டோட விலையே 800 rupees தான். கரெக்டா? நார்மலாக ஒரு ஹெல்மெட் வாங்க போறீங்கன்னா 800 to 1000 rupees. பெனால்ட்டி எவ்வளோமா? 5000 rupees. Penalty is having a nature that it forces you to wear the helmet. Yes, sir. Appo, even though it is more than actually the value of the particular goods or particular loss, still it is having a nature of forcing the opposite person to do the work. Okay, then it is called as a penalty. Able to understand? Now last, prefixed. Then what did we study? Nominal damages where actually you have not sustained any loss. Your intention is not also to recover any loss, but you want to prove that the opposite person has breached the contract. So you pull him to the court of law and nominally you charge some damage. Okay, then it is called as nominal damages. Able to understand, ma? Okay, next what did we study, ma, under breach of contract? Suit for rescission. Rescission means in case of breach, automatically contract breaches. Okay, contract is breached. Abdina, what is the solution? Apart from damage, you can rescind the contract. For rescinding the contract, you should properly communicate your rescission to the opposite party, okay, or the other party. Set. Next, suit for specific performance. In few cases, even if you come and give me damages also, it is not enough for me. Okay, I want that performance to be done, and it should be done only by you. Okay, because people are looking for you. Able to understand? What example we discussed for this? Pradeep Oda concert. You remember Pradeep sir's concert, wherein people are coming only to listen his voice. You give damage, you give return ticket cost, they will not accept. Correct? So they would have taken one day leave from their. Ippo poche last year AR sir oda concert. News la lang kuda vandhude. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? நாங்கள் எத்தனை பேர் லீவ்லாம் போட்டு ஃபேமிலியோட கிளம்பி வந்தோம். எவ்ரிதிங் காட் ஸ்பாயில்டு, அப்படி இப்படின்னு நிறைய பஞ்சாயத்து ஓடிச்சு. ஓகே, ஸோ ஈவன் இஃப் யூ கிவ் டேமேஜஸ், நோ, ஸ்டில் தே வில் நாட் அக்செப்ட். சூட் ஃபார் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் மீன் இன் வாட் எவர் மே பி த கேஸ், யூ ஆர் making sure that the person comes and performs, and it can be done only through the court order. You are taking him to the court and the court is ordering that person to go and perform. This is called as suit for specific performance. Then suit for injunction. Suit for injunction means stopping something which you promised that you will not do. Okay, stopping someone from doing something which he promised not to do. Able to understand? What example we saw? SK Productions. Okay, stopping him from acting in any other movies for the next 1 year. Able to understand? Last one, enema. Quantum. Suit for quantum merit. Quantum merit. See, let the work be stopped, let the breach be there, but whatever I have worked for, I am supposed to receive money. Correct? So whatever is the quantity of work I have done, for that you pay me. Even though there is no contract, even though the contract is only for 20 days, I have worked for 10 days. What is the 10 days work order cost? Try to give me. Okay, this is called as quantum merit. Okay, shall we jump into the next unit? We then started with Companies Act. Under Companies Act, first what was the area which we saw? We saw formation of the company, correct? Formation of the company. Now, under formation of the company, what were the first person? What did we study? We study who can start the company. Who can start the company? Promoter can start the company. Who is a promoter? The person who conceives the idea of bringing up the company, the person who takes steps in the initiation of the company, okay, and the person who contributes to starting a company, all of this will mean promoter, correct? Now, if these people are coming together and starting a company, then what are the procedures he has to follow? First procedure enama? MOA and AOA. MOA and AOA, it should be signed by whom? First, subscribers to Memorandum of Association. Now, who are all the subscribers to Memorandum of Association? It will be usually the promoters of the company, and it can also be the directors of the company in some cases. So, in here, when I say subscribers to Memorandum, in case of a private company, how many subscribers to Memorandum should be there? Minimum 2, maximum evolapa? Maximum 200 can be there. Now, within this minimum and maximum, we have a condition that is there that we will study later. Now, in case of a public company, how many subscribers should be there? Minimum 7, maximum ulama, unlimited, correct? So these people have to sign the MOA and AOA. Then what is the next document that is coming into picture? A declaration from the professionals. Who are all the professionals, ma? Lawyers. It is not advocate, it is solicitors. Now, when I ask you to write this keyword, what keyword you will write? Solicitor. Okay, in the left side of the book, in the keyword in the exam hall, when you are writing, you will write advocates. Okay, so to stop doing that mistake, we have to make sure that all these keywords are put in one place and we are repeatedly studying those keywords. ஒரு 4 வாட்டி 5 வாட்டி அந்த கீவேர்ட்ஸை பார்த்துட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா அப்போ லைஃப்ல நீங்க எப்பவுமே அட்வொகேட்னு சொல்ல மாட்டீங்க. that person will always be solicitor in your mind. சரியா? Okay, so then professionals, then who else has to also come and give this declaration? Apart from that, every subscribers to memorandum should come and say, first directors are memorandum. Person named in the articles should come and say what? All the rules and regulations are, whatever rules and regulations given in the 2013 Act, Companies Act 2013 are complied with in the formation of this company. Third declaration should be from whom? From the subscribers and the first director, stating what? That they are not convicted of any offense in relation to promotion, formation and management of the company. Second one, not found guilty of any fraud and misfeasance. They are not guilty of any fraud and misfeasance during the last 5 years. Third one enema. Open your mouth and answer. All the documents ennala na file pandrno are complete, correct and true to the best of my knowledge abdin potu they have to give a declaration. Apart from this, what else they have to give? Address for correspondence until registered office is given. Next one, all the ID proof and address proof of first directors, every subscribers to memorandum and people mentioned in the articles of association, this should be given. All of this should be given to whom? Registrar of companies who deals with your jurisdiction. Able to understand? Clear, ma? So this is with up to registration we saw. Then once we are registered, we will stand as a company. As a company, what are all my features? Ma? What is the first feature, ma? Separate legal entity status I will get. Then perpetual succession. Then artificial judicial person, artificial judicial person. அப்புறம் common seal, அப்புறம் limited liability, அப்புறம் அவ்வளவுதான். Okay, all these were the things which we saw. Then what else did we see? We thought about corporate wheel. Now this corporate wheel and separate legal entity are two sides of a coin mari. ஒரு பக்கம் of the law, one side of the coin says you have to understand that the company is separate from the directors, members and the shareholders and promoters. One side of the coin says that according to that side we have a separate legal entity. Company has a separate legal entity. Other side of the coin says, see, even though it is a separate legal entity, but there are few situations where we can understand that the company and the people behind it are one and the same. In those places we can lift the wheel and see that these two people are one and the same. What are all the cases where corporate wheel can be lifted, ma? First one, to find the enemy character, Second one, to evade tax. In order a company is started in order to evade tax or circumvent tax. Next one, innama, what is the next one? Now subsidy company acts as an agent. Next one, to avoid legal obligations. Next, in case a company is formed to do some fraud activity, okay, then it is like that. Okay, next one, avladana. Are illa 6 items illa 5 items. Okay, so with this we completed with yesterday. Iduke 10:45 aichu, correct? Okay, now let us go about studying classes of companies. Classes of companies is nothing but what are the different types of companies, what is the basis of forming those companies. Okay, first is on the basis of liability. Under the basis of liability we have first one, company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee and unlimited company. What are the 3 items that are there? Company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, unlimited company. Company limited by shares, what do I mean by that is, see, as a member, as a shareholder, what is my liability to the company? Who has to incur liability? Only the owners of the company will incur liability, correct? Now you have to understand about two things. One, who are the owners of the company? Okay, who are the owners of the company? Shareholders. Okay, now promoters can also be shareholders in the company, correct? Directors can also be shareholders in the company, but ultimately whoever comes inside the company in the name of shareholder are the owners of the company. Now when I say owner, I only have to take the risk and the reward. Yes, what is the risk, what is the reward? Whatever liability I am incurring, that is a risk. Whatever assets that I have is a reward for me. Yes or no? Okay, so if I say I have to enjoy the assets, then I should also enjoy the liabilities. Able to understand ma? Appo what is my liability as a owner to the company? Limited by shares abdina, whatever is the shares that I have taken, to that extent only I am limited. My liability is limited to the extent of the share value. Okay, example, we would have studied in your 10th or not in 10th, 11th or 12th standard about issue of shares, correct? Under that, for a share issue, say for example face value is rupees 10 abdina, out of this 10 face value, application will be 2 rupees. Okay, allotment will be 2 rupees, correct? Adukaprom first call will be say 3 rupees, second call will be 3 rupees, so total comes to 10 rupees. Able to understand? Now all of this is done in one single timeline or at various timelines? It happens at various timelines, correct? First May, for example, application is done in the month of April. Application is done in the month of April, okay? Then allotment is done in the month of May. Then first call in the month of October, second call in the month of December, correct? Now, whenever I apply for the share, do you think allotment will be given to me? Apply pannale allotment kuduthiruvangala? Sometimes it will not happen like that. It is not in 100% cases that if I apply for the share, I will get allotment. No. If the demand is more, you could have applied for 500 shares, okay? But the company will decide how much share it should give you, okay? If at all the company wants to give the entire, for discussion purpose, let me assume that you apply for 500 shares and you get 500 shares everything, correct? Now application you paid in the month of April, and allotment whatever you asked, 500 shares may they have allotted you, so totally up to May you have paid 4 rupees, correct? What is the amount unpaid on the share? 6 rupees. Okay, appo after May, whenever the company thinks, it may ask you for the unpaid amount on the share, and your liability is only that unpaid amount, 6 rupees into 500 shares. Able to understand? Then the kind of share that is given by the company is called as shares limited by shares. Capital limited, liability is limited by the shares to the extent of the unpaid amount on the shares. Clear? Now imagine first call is done. What will be the unpaid amount remaining? 3. 3 into 500 will be the amount that maximum you will be asked to pay to the company. What is the keyword here, madam? My keyword will be liability of the members of a company is limited by its memorandum of association to the amount, if any, unpaid on these shares. Now why this memorandum of association comes into picture? Later we will study. Memorandum is always, I told you, memorandum is like 4 walls of your house, correct? Within that only you have to work. Appo memorandum will say what is the capital that you can collect. Appo to that capital only you can issue your shares. So that is why it is given here, okay? The shareholder may be called upon to contribute only to the extent of the amount which remains unpaid on his shareholdings. Just 3 lines, right, ma? That is more than sufficient. Okay. With regard to these 2 lines, you may get a case law question. Is it visible, ma? Online students visible arka sheet? Ma, in these 2 lines we may get a case law kind of questions. What the see, it may be worthwhile to know that though shareholder is a co-owner in a company, ma, we all say that company oda owner yaru? Shareholders, correct? Ana company kulla or asset irukku appadina, will that asset be owned by the shareholder or the company? Company. Appo if the land has to be sold appadina, whether the shareholder can sell it or the company only should sell it? Company only should sell it. So even though I am a owner in that company, I am just owner for the company, not the company's assets. Able to understand, ma? Clear? Okay, ma? Now this we studied in a different name yesterday. What is that name? Insurable interest. Insurable interest. What did we study under insurable interest? Even though company is in my control, I am the owner of the company, whatever assets that are there inside the company does not belong to me. The insurable interest in the assets of the company is companies only, it does not belong to me. Able to understand, ma? Okay, so this we are done. Next one, company limited by guarantee. Now in this case, whatever amount that I want to guarantee, which is mentioned in the MOA as the maximum amount, to that extent only I can give you amount. This will come where abdina, see, some companies need initial amount, then it will start working, correct? But some companies need not require minimum amount and all. It can just start doing its business. In the event of winding up, then it will try to settle all the loans by taking money from the shareholders. Correct? Ma'am, enna அந்த மாதிரி business நீங்க சொல்லுங்க. Ma'am, for example, few companies, இப்போ வந்து நான் ஒரு drop shipping பண்றேன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. Drop shipping னா என்னமா? I will not have anything, ma. I will not have any go down. I will not have any workers. Nothing is there. Only one system is there, na work is done. Correct? Now, in the edathula, I will register myself as a seller in Amazon, Flipkart, elsewhere. Okay? I am a seller in a Flipkart. But what I am selling, I will source it from someone else. And when I get order in Amazon, automatically I will send that order to someone who's there in Tiruchi. And the Tiruchi person will properly label it, seal it, pack it and send it through Amazon. Able to understand? This is called as, simply this is drop shipping job. In here, do I need any money? No money is required. Why? Because if I have that system with me and if I'm registering myself as a seller in the Flipkart, once the order is received, the order now, once money is received by the Amazon will take its charges and give me 400 rupees. That 400 rupees I will pay to the person in Tiruchi to send the order. Able to understand? In here, no money is required. But it is the starting stage of business. Imagine this business is going to be built in a very broad manner. Later on, I take up my own godowns and I incur liability abdina. Then that liability, if I plan to wind up the company, that liability will be settled by calling up amount from the shareholders. What extent, ma'am, I will call it? Because in the company, shares is not, you can try to recover what is the extent of unpaid amount, correct? But here, it is company limited by guarantee. Apo MOA la, it should be mentioned what is the maximum guarantee that you can take from the shareholder. Say rupees 50,000. Apo maximum how much you can try to get from the shareholder? 50,000 from each of the shareholder, because that 50,000 is the guarantee that who gives? Shareholder gives. Okay, and this 50,000 when only you can collect? Only in the case of winding up of the company. You cannot take any money from the shareholders in between time. Correct? Understood? Shall we go and see the books? Yes. It is nothing but companies having liability of its members limited by memorandum to such amount as the members may respectively undertake by memorandum to contribute to the assets of the company in the event of it being wound up. Thus, the liability of the member is a guarantee company is limited up to the stipulated sum mentioned in the memorandum. The members are called upon to contribute, cannot be called upon to contribute beyond that stipulated sum. Ma'am, should I write this for exam or this for exam? Ma'am, we will write this only for exam. Keep it simple, at the same time conceptual. Seriya? The liability of the member of guarantee is limited. Limited to what extent, ma? Up to the stipulated sum mentioned in the memorandum. Ma, just like how for limited by shares, memorandum will say what is the share value maximum you can give. Likewise, in case of a company limited by guarantee, memorandum will say to what extent you can take guarantee. Correct? Apo, what the liability of the member is limited to the sum mentioned in the memorandum. Members cannot be called beyond that stipulated sum. Okay, and it can be called up only in case of the company being wound up. Okay, this is the difference between both share capital and the guarantee. When you have time, you can go through. Next one, unlimited company. Unlimited company means what? Company which does not have any limit on the liability of its members. Okay, in such a company, the liability of a member ceases when he ceases to become a member, which means what? The memorandum will say the liability of the members are unlimited. And the company loan irko, everything will be tried to be recovered and settled by all the members of the company. Okay, there's no limit at all. Okay, such a company is called as unlimited company. The creditors can institute proceedings for winding up of the company for all their claims. The official liquidator may call upon the members for contribution towards the liability and the debts of the company, which can be unlimited. Now, who is the official liquidator? What do you mean by that word? In case of a winding up, yes, correct. In case of a winding up, the company itself cannot appoint one person. Okay. Usually it will be appointed by the shareholders. That person's name will be called as the official liquidator. He will liquidate all the assets of the company and try to settle the loans of the company during winding up process. Seriya? So he's like a person who stands in between the owners of the company and the creditors of the company. Correct? Please go through, mark the keywords and box the keywords. Next one. On the basis of number of members. First one is a one-person company. What is a one-person company, ma? I already told you yesterday. See, sometimes I don't want to do any partnership. Okay, even if I want to do partnership also, if I am doing any business within India, it is well and fine. But if I want to go abroad and do an export business abdina, then all this partnership deed, proprietorship order certificate and all does not even speak, it cannot speak for itself. But if you say a company incorporation certificate which is given by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs under the Government of India, then it is a recognizable business certificate. Okay, everyone around the globe will trust your company, correct? So that is the reason people want to start more companies into a picture. That is why they started companies. But when I say company, in case of private company, I need 2 people, public company, I need 7 people. But what if I don't want to start a public company with 7 people? 7 people, difficult to manage 7 people. 2 people also is very difficult. I don't want to trust anyone. So, okay, I myself will start a company called as one-person company. I will be the only person in the company. I will be the deciding person. I will take all the decisions and I will do the business. I will make sure all the rules and regulations of Companies Act are followed with. The key responsibility is with only one person. That company is called as one-person company. One-person company. Now, what is the minimum paid-up capital required for a one-person company? There is no limit, which means minimum capital நீங்க 1000 rupees வச்சு கூட you can start with a one-person company. The memorandum of the OPC shall indicate the name of the other person in the event of subscriber's death or his incapacity become the member of the company. Which means when I say one-person company, if at all something happens, okay, who will take charge? Who will settle all the liabilities? Then definitely we need another person, and that person's name should be mentioned in the memorandum of association. Okay, now in place of one-person company, nominee will be mentioned. Something happens to this one person abdina, that nominee will become the member of the company automatically. The other person whose name is given in the memorandum as this nominee or other person shall give his prior consent to act as the member. In case of this person's death or incapacity, I am ready and willing to stand as a member in this one-person company. He should give a written consent. Ma, illana enna agum? What will happen? If my brother is there, he wants to start a one-person company, he will just like that start a company and put the other person's name like என் பேரை fill up பண்ணி விட்டு போயிடுவான். Correct? If at all he went to abroad and not reachable at all, then who will be called up to come and appear? I only will be called up because he is not reachable, absconded somewhere. Okay, now sir எப்போ சார் இதெல்லாம் நடந்தது எனக்கு தெரியவே தெரியாதுன்னு சொல்ல முடியுமா நானு? No, முடியாது. So government says, law says, if you are naming someone abdina, get a written statement from that person that you are ready and willing to act on his behalf. Able to understand? Next one, that other person may be given a right to withdraw the consent whenever he wants to. Okay, consent எப்ப வேணாலும் நான் withdrawவும் பண்ணிக்க முடியும். The member of OPC may at any time change the name of such other person. See, I can withdraw at the same time. If the OPC decides, he also can change the name. Ma, before marriage he wants to use my name. After marriage he wants to use his wife's name. Able to understand, ma? Naturally it happens like that. Naturally more trust will be built on the personal relationship, correct? Husband and wife is a personal relationship. So husband or a place edathla, if he wants to give a nominee name, naturally he will give the wife's name. Okay, if he wants to change the name, he can change. Any change in the name of the person shall not be deemed to be an alteration to the memorandum. Now memorandum is a bylaw, we already discussed, correct? Now just like that you cannot change. Okay, ana inge in the name change, if you're changing only the name in the memorandum, it does not amount to alteration of the memorandum. It need not be considered that you're changing memorandum itself. No. Okay, usually clauses of the memorandum cannot be changed just like that. But in case of a OPC, if you're trying to change only the name of this other person, that change you can do. That change will not be considered as changes in the memorandum. Okay, only natural person who's a Indian citizen, whether resident in India, he has stayed in India for a period of not less than 120 days during the immediately preceding financial year, shall become eligible to incorporate an OPC and shall be a nominee for the sole member of the OPC. Mas in the sole member na yaru? The person who started the company. Nominee person na yaru? The person who is naming, whom he is naming. Okay, that person is called as nominee person. But what are the two conditions that are there to start? He should be a resident first of all, and minimum he should have stayed for 120 days, not less than 120 days. Now I have a small doubt with respect to this 120 days. I will try to confirm you whether this 120 or if this number has changed. Okay, I will confirm you. Next one, no person shall be eligible to incorporate more than one OPC or become nominee in more than one OPC, which means if you are one person, you are starting a one person company abdina, at a time you can start only one company. Okay, adhe pola if you are being named as a nominee in a OPC also, you can be only a nominee in one OPC only. Side by la rendu moonu nominee appadila irukka mudiyadu. Okay, at a time you can be only in one OPC, either you can be the sole member or the nominee, ana at a time only in one place. Able to understand? No minor shall become a member or nominee of an OPC or can hold share with the beneficial interest, which means what? He cannot become a member, he cannot become a nominee, at the same time he cannot bear a beneficial interest in an OPC. Company cannot be incorporated or converted under section 8 of the act, though it may be converted into private company or public company. Ma, how can an OPC be converted into private or public? If he takes one more person na, it will become private. If he takes 6 more person abdina, it will become public. Able to understand? He has to undergo changes in the MOA, AOA accordingly. Seriya? Now, what is this section 8 company? Section 8 companies are those companies which are there for non-profit motive. Okay, charity purpose ku edavadhu company nadathraanga, or not only for charity, if you are trying to promote any sports events, games, culture, skill, art, idella promote pandradhukaga if you are bringing up a company, then that company is definitely not for a profit motive. Then that companies are together collectively called as what? Section 8 companies. Appo if you are starting a OPC company, it should be only for profit. It cannot be for section 8 purpose. Able to understand, ma'am? Okay, such company cannot carry out non-banking financial investment activities, including investment in securities of any body corporate, which means what is NBFC? Non-banking financial activities. Sorry, financial activities na enna? Financial activities abdina taking savings, taking amount from public and giving to public as loans, taking funds, giving to giving funds as loans. This is called as financial activity. All nationalized banks are doing this job only. Ma'am, எங்க இருந்து எடுக்கறாங்க? Ma, we are opening savings account in bank, correct? Ma, நம்மள பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் we are trying to save, correct? But அவங்கள பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் they are collecting cash. And collect பண்ண cash என்ன பண்றாங்கமா? லோனா இந்த பக்கம் கொடுக்கறாங்க எல்லாருக்கும். Able to understand? Clear? Now, when you are starting a OPC, you cannot do something like this. Able to understand? Clear? And as an NBFC அப்படினா, they not only, NBFC cannot collect cash. Whatever cash it has, it can spend ன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது, it can give loans. I was working for a NBFC sometime later, 2-3 years back. You know what this group will do அப்படினா, very big group, they are kind of attached to India Cements and the mari. Okay, this group is having already very good funds in hand, say suppose 800-900 crores. This funds, this kind of funds, they will invest in shares, and from shares, if you are investing, what can be the income? Dividends, and definitely there is going to be profit also, because buy is involved, sale is involved. Buy and sale involved அப்படினா profit is there. So அவங்களோட income எப்படினா, this kind of dividend which they get, and interest which they get. Dividends we get in when we invest in equity shares or preference shares, correct? We will also get one more kind of income called as interest when we invest in debentures and bonds. Debenture interest, bond interest கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க, correct? So there are different kinds of investments which the company does out of its own money. Okay, all these will come under non-banking financial activities. So OPC cannot involve in this kind of NBFC activities. Seriya? Yena, it's just a single person ma. If something happens abdina, what happens to the funds? It will be very difficult. Okay, so OPC is not supposed to involve into NBFC, or it cannot invest in the securities of a company. Here the member can become the sole member and the director. Now in every company so far which we have seen, the directors can be different from the people who start the company, yeah? But in case of an OPC, definitely mandatorily the person who starts the company, the person itself will be the director of the company, correct? அப்போ அவர் ஏதாவது ஒரு decision எடுக்கிறாரு, ஒரு resolution pass பண்ண போறாரு அப்படினா, who will sign that resolution? He himself will sign the resolution. Able to understand? So can we try to remember what are all the key points with respect to OPC? First one, he is the only person. Second one, he can give a name of the nominee person in the memorandum of association. Ma, listen to me. I'm gonna say all the details, then you will repeat. Recall, repeat. First, only one person can start a company. Secondly, he has to give the other person's name who will be acting in case of the death of the sole member or the incapacity of the sole member. He will become the member automatically, correct? Now, the person whose name is mentioned as other person, the nominee in the memorandum, can withdraw the consent. And at the same time, if he wants to join in as a nominee, he also should give a written consent to act as the nominee of the sole member. And he also has the right to withdraw the consent, correct? The one person, that is the sole member of the OPC, has the right to change the name of the nominee. Understood? Now, in case the name of the nominee is changed from time to time, this change will happen in the memorandum of association. This change cannot be deemed as change to memorandum of association. Able to understand, ma? Clear? Now, next point which we studied was, this person can also be the member as well as the director in the company. Then next thing which we saw was, this person cannot indulge in any NBFC activities. NBFC activity not possible at all. Able to understand? Should not. NBFC nale, you should not also invest in any securities of the any other company. What, any point which I left, ma? What is the eligibility? Eligibility is he should be an Indian citizen, and whether he is a resident or not is irrelevant, but he should have stayed for minimum number of days. In our book it is given not less than how many days, ma? 120 days. I will check and let you know this is 120 or anything else changed. Okay, at a time you can be a OPC or nominee in only one OPC. You cannot be handling multiple OPCs. At the same time, you cannot be a nominee in multiple OTPs at one point of time. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes time, try to recall. 2 minutes time. அதுக்கப்புறம் 2 points left out மா. 2 points left. ஒன்று minor cannot become a member. அதே போல he cannot hold a beneficial interest. NBFC cannot be a section 8 company. Sorry, OPC cannot be a section 8 company. 2 minutes, 2 minutes effectively use பண்ணுங்க. Once we are done with this அப்படினா OPC இன்னொரு வாட்டி வீட்டுக்கு போய் படிக்க வேணாம். Second point. Free consent. அது மூணாவது பாயிண்ட். சரி, நெக்ஸ்ட் பர்சன். Minor can also cannot become member also. இன்னொரு பாயிண்ட் விட்டியா அந்த மைனர்லயே, he cannot also be have beneficial interest. ஓகேவா? He should be a resident in India for not less than 120 days. 120 days. Okay, next person. போர்டு பார்க்குறேன், நீ கேடு. அவங்க சொன்ன பாயிண்ட் தவிர்த்து அடுத்து சி வா போ சொல்லு. Can இல்லம்மா, should. Can means you can decide. Okay, should means mandatory, correct? One person company should definitely give the name of the other person in the memorandum in case of death or incapacity. Death or incapacity is a keyword. Okay, in case of death of incapacity of the sole member, this nominee will act as the member of the company, correct? Next person. Will not, does not, it is not deemed as though memorandum is changed. Okay, it does not deemed that there is alteration of memorandum. டே அது என்ன பாட்டு பாட்டா படிப்பீங்களா, மற்றது கண்ணில் படாது. ஓகேம்மா, இட் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் கீ பாயிண்ட், யூ ஆர் மிஸ்ஸிங் இட். ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட் பாயிண்ட். Financing activities, NBFC, financing company activities, including investment in securities of any body corporate. Okay, investing in any securities of any body corporate. Next person. Companies. அது விட்டுரு, அது ஒன்றும் ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லை அம்மா, அது வரைக்கும் ஓகே. பப்ளிக் கம்பெனி சொல்லிட்டியா, ஓவர் க்ளோஸ். நெக்ஸ்ட் பாயிண்ட். அது சொல்லிட்டாங்க. Written. Good. Ma, online people. Online. Haila. Any points? Any 2 points, ma? Any 2 points? என்னடா மைக் ஆன் பண்றதுக்கே இவ்வளோ நேரமா? அபவுட் ஓபிசி தானேவா? சரி சொல்லு, ஓபிசி தான். ஓகே, என்ன நெக்ஸ்ட் பர்சன்? He should be an Indian citizen. Ma, you just that we short span la padikrom அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு we cannot eat up the words. He should be an Indian citizen. Whether or not he is a resident, he should have stayed in India for not less than 120 days. Okay, next Kavin. Kavin, any 2 points? For what என்னடா? OPC ல any 2 points? எல்லாம் ஓன் வேர்ட்ஸ்ல, எல்லாம் ஓன் வேர்ட்ஸ். should give consent na, how he should give consent? Nominee, he should give a written consent. Written consent. Okay, only if you give properly. No, see, it doesn't matter we write 10 points. If you are writing 4 to 5 points with proper keywords na, more than sufficient. Okay, yes. Srinidhi, any 2 points, ma? One more point is also there with regard to minor. He cannot also hold beneficial interest. Okay. Okay, next point. Good. Okay, ma. Tulasi, if you are not able to turn on your mic, you can send it to chat also. If you are saying it out, then good. Say it. Please repeat the question. Any 2 points from OPC, ma? Okay. You are not looking at your book and answering, no? I hope. Okay. Okay, ma. Then let's move to the next area, next topic. Private company. Under private company, what are we going to learn? We are going to learn about few points, which is no minimum paid up capital requirement. Okay, for where did we come across this point earlier? In OPC also there is no minimum capital requirement. Minimum number of member is 2 people, except if private company is an OPC where it will be only 1. Maximum number is 200, we already saw. For a private company, minimum number is 2, maximum number is 200. But for calculating this 200, you cannot count the present employee come members and erstwhile employee come members. Which means what happens sometime, my own share capital will be given or will be taken up by my salaried employees. Able to understand? Ma'am, how can this happen? We will learn about a concept in Inter called as share-based payments. So if a employee is performing really well, I have to encourage him. How will I encourage Abdina? I will give him shares of my company. Able to understand? Well, recent somewhere in Bangalore, every employee become crore-pratis. News la pathingla? Every employee of that particular company become crore-pratis. How Abdina? So long that company was a private company, private unlisted company. As soon as the company become a listed company, listed na anna? It is listed in the stock exchange. Okay, people want to buy shares of that company. So the employees, whatever shares they had, they started selling the shares in the share market. Okay, everyone became a crorepati by selling the company shares. Able to understand? Okay, as long as before listing it was a private unlisted company, it was giving shares to its own employees. I will give salary. Okay, I want to recognize your hard work, so I will give the company share to you. Okay, year end la eppadi or bonus kudukrona adhe mari I will give you yearly shares. This shares slowly it will get accumulated. When a point comes where the company is a really performing company, I want to list this company in the stock market so that outside people will also buy my company shares abdin varumbodhu. People, once it is listed, people want to buy, the demand for the share got increased. The employees who were holding the shares of companies started selling shares, and when they sold the shares, the amount that they realized out of it was very huge. Able to understand? So in that what they are trying to say, maximum number of shareholders is 200. But for calculating this 200, what you should not count? You should not count the shareholders who are also the employees of the company. And it also includes all those employees who have relieved from the company also. Ma, our in the company la irundha varaikum I have been giving shares. 58 years of age, adanal he got retired. After retirement also he is holding my shares. Then for counting this 200, you will not calculate the present employee as well as the old erstwhile retired employees. Able to understand? Clear? Okay. Right to transfer share is restricted. Right to transfer. Erstwhile member, present employees, not today those people who are working with me. Erstwhile employees abdina, before their retirement they were working with me. After retirement they would stop their job. Able to understand? And they will be sitting at home. Erstwhile employee means previous employees or past employees. Correct? Employee come members abdina, they were my employees. During their employment I would have given shares, so they are employees come members. Then it prohibits, or there's a right of transfer is right of transfer, and you cannot simply transfer your shares from one person to another person. If you want to transfer, you have to get proper permissions from the company, only then you can transfer the shares. Prohibition on invitation to subscribe to securities. Prohibition on invitation to subscribe. What is the meaning of subscribe to securities? Security na shares. Security na nothing but shares. Now, today if I'm starting a private company along with my friend, okay, only two people are there, private company, I want to start the company. Now, I want to expand the company, bring more shareholders into the company. What are the methods that I can use to bring more shareholders into my company? How many more shareholders can I bring more further? 198 shareholders I can bring. In our law says maximum 200 shareholders. Correct? Already two people are there, myself and my friend. How many more people can I bring in? 198 shareholders can be brought in. Think and say me, how can I bring 198 people more into my company? By issuing shares, correct? How will the opposite person know that I am issuing shares? That is what the law says. In case if you are a private company, you cannot advertise that you are issuing securities. Able to understand? Ma'am, how will people know? You cannot, see, when you are a private company, you cannot enter stock exchange. You can enter stock exchange only if you are a public company, and then you have to get your public company listed in the stock exchange. Only then your name will be there in the stock exchange. As a private company, I cannot advertise. Then how can I bring new shareholders in my company? நான் என்கிட்ட இருக்கிறதே ரெண்டு பேர் தானே, நான் ஒன்று என் ஃப்ரெண்டு ஒன்று. How can I collaborate? How? Which some other company. அப்போ கூட 1 or 2 you can bring. I'm asking about 198. How? It is simply not possible. Simply not possible. Because you cannot advertise, first of all. By a private company, meaning of a private company, you cannot advertise your issue of shares. Appo how will people know? People should not know. That is the intention of law. Why? Because when you say private company, risk is higher. No one is there to control you. Public abdinum mode 7 people directors are there, so control is more. Correct? And in case of a private company, what you decide you will do in your company. Correct? Ultimately what and myself and my friend will decide, we will do. We will run the business accordingly. Appo risk is more. அப்போ don't bring more than 200 people. In fact 200 people ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தி. உங்களை நம்பி 200 people invest பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னா it is risky for them. Okay, so you cannot advertise your share. Then how will I get shares? That is why private company அப்படின்னும் போது number of shareholders will be 15, 20, 25 அவ்வளவுதான் இருப்பாங்க. Okay, usually these are closely held companies. Closely held companies அப்படின்னா அந்த கம்பெனியில் யார் ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸாக இருக்காங்கன்னு பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா அப்பா அம்மா 2 பசங்க, அப்புறம் அவங்களோட ஒய்ஃபு, அப்புறம் அவங்களோட சன்னு, இப்படி தான் இருப்பாங்க. க்ளோஸ்லி ஹெல்டு கம்பெனிஸ். Closely held companies. Able to understand? Okay, so maximum number is 200, and inside that 200 who will not be counted? Present employees and past employees. Past employees. Erstwhile, if you are not able to use, not a problem, use past employees. Able to understand ma? You cannot transfer your shares. At the same time, there is a prohibition. Prohibition means what? There is a restriction. You cannot do. Ma, restriction na, there is some warning is there. With after permissions you can do. Correct? But prohibits abdina you cannot do. You are prohibited from going to that place. You are stopped from going to that place. Able to understand? Now you are prohibited on invitation to subscribe to securities. Now when you say you are giving invitation, what is the meaning of that? You are giving advertising. Correct? You are prohibited from advertising regarding what? Subscription of securities of the companies. Able to understand? Now இதை இப்படியே தான் நான் எழுதுறோமா? You can use the word in place of invitation. You can use the word advertisement. Not a problem. Okay. Small company is a private company. This small company we will discuss one more time. OPC can be formed only as a private company. So under private company, what can also come? OPC can also come. Small company can also come. In case of a small company, only one person will start a company. But in case of a private company, 2 people will start a company. Correct? Transfer of share is restricted. In case of maximum number of members, 200. Within that 200, who will not be calculated? Present employee and past employee. I'll give you one scenario. 250 shareholders are there. in the year 2017 and 18. Whether this is correct? No, we cannot say. We have to understand who are coming inside that 250. Who are coming inside that 250? Out of that 250, 8 members are past employees. Okay. And then another 20 members are present employees. All of the other people, say 232 people, are other shareholders. Whether this combination was correct? Whether this combination correct? Even after taking out the past and present employees, the number is 238, which is more than 200. Therefore, wrong. You cannot take more than 200 outside shareholders. Correct? Appo, in case if you have given 232 shares, what you should do? You should get back the shares. Give the shareholders their money back. Able to understand? Clear? Yes. Next one, small company. Small company means a company in which, small company is also a private company only, but we are terming it as small company. Why? Because we can give some benefits. For example, or a private company which is having, private company can also have thousands of crores of turnover. Correct? Adhe pola private company can also have turnover running in some lakhs. Both the options are possible. Correct? Appo, in front of the eyes of tax laws, Income Tax Act, whether it can treat a private company earning lakhs, thousands of crores, and a private company earning just in lakhs, can it be treated the same way? No. If the taxation, the income tax department wants to give benefit, whether it will give benefits to a company which is already running in thousands of crores, or it will try to give benefits to these small companies. It will try to give benefit to small companies so that the small company will grow into big company. Able to understand? So we need to understand, first of all, how should I term the word? How can I bring all companies under small company range? How should I identify the range of small company? You can call a company a small company if the income of that person, income means what? Turnover. Okay, income soltena. Turnover of the company does not exceed 40 crores. Cut down these words, 2. Okay. And likewise, the paid up share capital does not exceed 40 lakhs. 4 crores. 4 crores. Adhe pola turnover does not exceed 40 crores. And if you see, this condition is a and condition. And condition nanama. Both the conditions has to be satisfied. It is not like one of the conditions satisfy ana pattadu. If you have to term a company as a small company, both conditions to be satisfied. What are the two conditions? One is with respect to paid up share capital, one is with respect to turnover. Correct? Paid up capital should not exceed 4 crores. Adhe pola turnover should not exceed 40 crores, which means paid up capital should be less than 4 crores. Adhe pola turnover should be less than 40 crores. If this condition is satisfied, then you can call that company as a small company. Probably these kind of questions will come for 4 marks. Explain small company. Then what you should do? You should write all this. Okay. And how will you identify this? In the immediate preceding financial year, you have to take your profit and loss account and find what is the turnover. Able to understand? Appo, for the financial year 18-19, if you have to identify whether this company is a small company or not, what you have to do? You have to take financial year 2017-18 order financial statements, profit and loss, balance sheet. From the profit and loss, you have to see what is the turnover. Less than 40 crores. Okay, go to the balance sheet. See what is the paid up capital. Less than 4 crores. Then you can call that company as a small company. Okay. For this we have exceptions. What exceptions are there? Exceptions means what, ma? even though turnover is less than 40 crores, even though paid up capital is less than 4 crores, still it cannot be called as small company. Usually less than 4 crores paid up capital, less than 40 crores turnover, termed as small company. Exception, that 0.1% is, even though it is matching this criteria and this criteria, still we cannot call that company as a small company. When abdina, if that small company is a holding company or a subsidiary company. Holding or subsidiary company enna அப்படின்றது we'll see later. அதே போல if that company is a section 8 company, you break கொடுக்கணும்ல, மறந்துட்டேன். Okay, now section 8 company or a company or a body corporate governed under any special act. For example, LIC is a company, correct? அதே போல LIC க்கு they have a specific act that is governing the company. Then that company cannot be called as what? Small company. Able to understand ma? Clear? Understood? Okay. So exceptions are 3 in nature. One vandu hold, it should not, that company should not be a holding company or a subsidiary company. That company should not be a section 8 company. Then that company should not be created out of a special act. Then it cannot be called as a small company, even though the turnover is less than 40 crore, paid up capital less than 40 lakhs. Please write it somewhere. This line, write it somewhere so that exception nama fast padikumbodhu takkunu enna namakku puriyadu. Write it somewhere. This line, write it somewhere. It will help you when you are studying. In the 40 and 4 crore eppo change aachu? It changed in September 2022, 15 September 2022. Gist of a small company is written here. It's a private company, paid up capital not more than 4 crores, turnover not more than 40 crores. It should not be a section 8 company, it should not be a holding company or a subsidiary company, or governed by special act. Okay, so we are taking a 10-minute break. We will come back by 11:55. tomorrow Jayashree ma'am will come. Okay, ஒழுங்கா படிச்சிட்டாங்க, என் பேரை காப்பாத்துங்கடா. சூப்பர். அப்ப என் கிளாஸ்ல தான் ஆன்சர் பண்ண மாட்டீங்க. Okay, ma, let us start. Public company is not a private company, obviously we know. Has a minimum paid up share capital as may be prescribed, right? Sorry for the disturbance. Okay, so public company is not a private company and it has a minimum share paid up capital. This was not there in OPC and private company, correct? In case of a public company, shares are freely transferable. This was not there in private company. No minimum paid up capital is required. Now this is there, no minimum capital is required. This is there, I think. Right now I think 1 lakh something is it. This point also I'll check. Minimum number of member is 7, maximum no limit, but maximum limit for private company was 200, excluding whom? Present employee and past employee. Subsidiary of a public company is also deemed to be a public company. Subsidiary of a public company is deemed to be a public company. For that we need to know what is a subsidiary company. A company can be called as a subsidiary company when the former company is holding more than 1/2 of the shares of the later company, or if it is able to control the board of directors of the latter company. Say for example, company X, company Y. Company X and company Y. Now out of these two, X is having more than 51%. More than 50 is 51, correct? More than 1/2 is more than 50. 51% of shares in company Y, okay? And it is able to control 51% of the directors. அப்போ அவர் சொல்றது தான் company Y will do, correct? So company Y is a subsidiary of company Y is a subsidiary of company X. Able to understand, ma? Clear? So if a subsidiary of a public company is also deemed as a public company, in this case we also studied what is private company alla nama paathom. In case company Y is a private company nalume, in its book, in whose book? Company Y's book, it will have only two people as a two people to start the company, only 2 directors, less than 200 share members. All that is fine, but since it is a subsidiary of a public company which is X, it is also deemed to be a public company, but in actual it is just a private. But since it is a subsidiary of a public company, even though it is a private company, it is deemed to be what? Public company. Able to understand? Next point. Okay, minimum 7 or more persons is required to start a public company. This we already know, correct? Next we will go on to understand what is a holding company and a subsidiary company. A company can be called as a holding if it controls the composition of board of directors. Ma, composition of board of directors na, if it decides it can add directors, if it decides it can take out the directors, okay? Which means you are able to control the composition of the board of directors. For example, in that composition means what? Composition is not deciding. Composition means I am able to control the number of directors. With 4 people form directorship abdina, I can decide whether it should be 4 people or 5 people or 3 people or 8 people. The composition of the board, number of people in the board of directors, who can decide Holding company can decide. If it is able to control that composition, that I am called as a holding company. Exercises or controls more than 1/2 of the total voting power either at its own or together with one or more of its subsidiary. Now here think what happens here. A is there, okay. A is controlling B because A is having more than 70% in B, okay, and B is controlling C. B is having 100% owner. In here A is having 70% ownership. Ownership is nothing but voting power. Voting power is nothing but shares. Able to understand, ma? If I am saying I'm having 70% of theirs, 70% voting power I am having. Able to understand? Now 70% of B is controlled by A. Adepola B is having 100% ownership or voting power in C. Okay, which means indirectly I am controlling C. Yes or no? Indirectly I am able to control. Now A is also the holding company for C as well. Able to understand? Why? Because as per law I am able to control more than 1/2 of the total voting power either on its own. A is controlling B on its own. Correct? A is able to control B on its own. But A is able to control C together with one or more of its subsidiaries, which means A is able to control the C through B. Able to understand? How abdina? See, B is having 100% ownership in C, correct? Now if I am able to control 70% of B abdina, then I am able to influence C. How? Whatever decision is taken by B on that, 70% will be my influence. Yes or no? Okay. Yeah, abdina, for example, imagine 10 people are in the board of directors of B. In the 10 people, 7 people I am able to influence, correct? And 3 people are from B on its own. If I have to take control of C, again how much control I should need? More than 1/2. Correct? More than 1/2 na, 70% I already have, which is already more than 1/2. Indirectly I am able to control C since B is my subsidiary. Clear? Understood? Okay. So in this case I am called as holding company and B and C are my subsidiary companies. Subsidiary companies. Clear? Understood? Now if at all I have to control like this, I cannot deep down one more. Okay, for example, D in Soli, D again C is having 100% ownership. Abdin Soli, line poikite irukka mudiyadhu. Maximum I can control a company with only 2 layers. 2 layers na enna artham? See, between A and D, let me use a different color pen. Between Mr. A, company A and company D, there are only 2 layers. Yes, okay. Maximum only 2 layers can be used to control a company. Beyond that, I cannot control. Able to understand? Okay. Next one we will study about. This is about subsidiary company and holding company. Next we will study something about associate company. In case of an associate company, I don't have major control. Major control I don't have, but I have something called as significant control. Significant means, see, if 100 shares are there, if I hold 1 share, will you call that I am able to control the decision? No. Correct? But if I have more than 20 shares, then I will say that I have significant influence on the control. How? Madam, actually if I have to take any decision in a company, then the decision should be backed by the shareholders approval. Correct? Appo shareholder approve pannona, vote kuduknu abdina, then each shareholder will have a voting power. Okay, if I am able to influence more than 20% of the share capital, then whatever I decide will be the decision of the company. It will influence the decision of the company. able to understand ma. இது எப்படி நான் உங்களுக்கு ஈஸியா புரிய வைக்கிறது அப்படினா டோட்டலா we have 234 constituencies in Tamil Nadu, கரெக்ட்டா? மெஜாரிட்டி எது? மெஜாரிட்டி எது? 117 எடுத்தா மெஜாரிட்டி, கரெக்ட்டா? 117 எடுத்தா மெஜாரிட்டியா? yes, 117 எடுத்தா மெஜாரிட்டி. அப்போ 117 எல்லாருமே எடுப்பாங்களா? no one will take 117. people will take somewhere like 98 இல்லனா 90, இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்ப்ளிட் ஆகும். ஒரு 4 கட்சி இருக்குன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்களேன், டிஎம்கே, ஏடிஎம்கே, அதுக்கு அப்புறம் இன்னொரு 2-3 பார்ட்டி ஏபி. ஓகே, ஏ அண்ட் பி இருக்குன்னு சொல்ல விரும்பல நான். ஓகே, so 90 and these people will again take 170. இந்த மாதிரி போச்சு அப்படினா ultimately no one is taking 117. then how will they form the government? How will they form the government? Ma, these last two people somewhere they will be getting some 30. Okay va? And these people will be getting some 30, and then some small people will be there, very small அந்த மாம்பழம் வச்சுன்னு ஒருத்தங்க இருப்பாங்களே அவங்க, அப்புறம் இன்னொருத்தர் likewise CD அந்த மாதிரி போய்கிட்டே இருக்கும், கரெக்ட்டா? and these people somewhere they will be taking 7, 8 and all. Okay, now what happens, this 7 and 8 and all will not make much of influence, correct? But imagine this 30, 35 and all, if they join with this person, he is having chance to win. If he joins with this person, he is having chance to win. Now in this 7 and 8 is not making any influence. Even if you take this 90 and 70 also, still you are not able to form the government, correct? But it is the 30 person who is taking in 30 and 30 will able to influence this one and this one. If he joins with ADMK அப்படினா ADMK will take the government. If this person joins with DMK அப்படினா DMK will take the government, correcta? அப்போ this person is significantly able to influence the government that is going to come in place. புரியுதா? அதே மாதிரி if some decision is going before the shareholders அப்படினா, then whoever is having that 50%, they will have some control. But if at all government says for this particular decision to be approved, we need at least 75% approval. Okay, 75% of the shareholders should say okay, correct? நம்மளுக்கு ஆல்ரெடி நான் மெஜாரிட்டி இருக்கேன், 51 இருக்கு, shall I approve? No, you need 75%, correct? Now this 75% la 51 people say yes, this is because one single person A. Another 20% say B. 20% he gave no answer. Okay, 20%. Another person is there C, he is having 27% control, holding in the company. Okay, think and say, if 27%, if it goes here, what will be the situation? Decision will not be passed, correct? If this 27% goes here, what happens to the decision? The decision will get passed, correct? Now because of this one person's vote, which person's vote ma? C oda vote, he is able to decide. Adhaadu individually he cannot do anything. Individually C cannot do anything because 27% only is there. But if he combines with this person, or if he combines with this person, his decision, his voting power is able to significantly improve or decide on the final say. Okay, அவன் சொல்றதை வச்சு தான் அந்த டிசிஷன் பாஸ் ஆகுதா இல்லையா அப்படின்றது தெரியும், கரெக்டா? if he joins, if he means who? See, let me take green la. If C joins with B அப்படினா decision is dropped. If C joins with A அப்படினா decision is approved. So because of this more than 20% in voting power he is having, he is able to influence the decision. Yes என்றதும் no என்றதும் இவன் எந்த பக்கம் போய் join ஆகுறான் அப்படின்றத வெச்சு தான், கரெக்ட்டா? அப்போ significantly he is influenced the company. That is why he is called as a associate company. Okay, because this other company has significant influence, but which is not a subsidiary company of the other. Able to understand ma? Clear? So for a company to call as an associate company, say for example company X is there, company Y is there. Okay, if X has to be called as the associate of Y, if X has to be called as the associate of Y, then X has to have 20, more than 20% shareholding in Y. Okay, likewise, if Y has to be called as the associate of company Z, then Y has to have more than 20% of voting power in Z. When you say you have more than 20% of voting power in the other company, you are able to exercise significant influence on the other company. When you are able to exercise significant influence on the other company, you will be termed as associate company. Able to understand, ma? Okay, appo subsidiary what is the two conditions that we saw? First condition, more than you are able to control the composition of the board of directors. First condition. Second condition, you are able to exercise more than 1/2 of the total voting power of the company. Two conditions, repeat along with me. First condition for subsidiary company, controls the composition of the board of the other company, director of the other company. Next condition for subsidiary company is that he is able to exercise more than 1/2 of the total voting power of the other company. Then that companies will be called as subsidiary company and holding company. Correct? Now, for a company to be called as an associate company, what is the condition? He should be having more than 20% shareholding on the other company, and because of that shareholding, he should be significantly having influence in the other company. The word significant influence is a keyword. Okay. Exercise is a keyword. Exercise is a keyword, because sometimes people will use, they will write the word uses significant influence. Abdilla panakudadu. Uses voting power. Abdilla exercises the voting power. Exercises the significant influence. Able to understand? So the word significant influence means controls at least 20%. At least 20% na enna? More than 20 or more. Okay, at least 20% na more than or equal to 20. Then you can say that you are having significant influence. And more than 20% of the total voting power or the control and participation in the business decision. Done? Okay, next item. Wherever you are seeing this kind of words put in letters, numbers put in words, okay, convert and write it into like this, numbers, so that when you are reading, it will not cause confusion. It will be a minute. It will not take a minute also. It will take only a few seconds. Okay, wherever there are numbers given in words like this, put it in numbers again. Next one, on the basis of access to capital. Under that we are studying listed company and unlisted company. Access to capital means where can I go and buy the capital of this particular company. One capital for unlisted company can be purchased through where? Unlisted company na? Company which is not listed in the stock of exchange. Now for that we need to understand what is stock of exchange. Stock of exchange is the common place where people will go and buy shares. Okay, and for buying this kind of shares in the stock market, the company need not know who will be the buyer or who will be the seller. Okay, what happens here is the company will be there. Okay, company and co is the company name. It will list the shares in the stock market. In the stock market, there will be so many people involved. Correct? Today if I buy, tomorrow I will sell. Okay, today I buy, 2 months later I will be selling. company will not take into account who will be the buyer and seller. Automatically everything is systemized. Once you buy, your name will come under the register of shareholders. The moment you sell, your name will be striked out from the register of shareholders. Automatically it happens. Okay, appo when everything is systemized, the company need not take extra efforts. Okay, and it is automatically taken care by the stock market. Okay, this entire buy and sell is handled by the stock market. Clear? Okay, this is called as listed company, wherein you as a company will go and list your shares, put your shares in the stock market. The stock market will show, okay, in the company or shares are coming for listing purposes. Those who want to buy, come and buy. Able to understand? My இப்போ ரிலையன்ஸ் ஓட ஷேர் பிரைஸ் என்ன போயிட்டு இருக்கு? என்ன நியூலர் ரிலையன்ஸ் ஓட ஷேர் பிரைஸ் இன்னைக்கு வந்து 1194 ஒரு ஷேர். Okay, and Reliance will be having lakhs of shares in place. Okay, those who want to buy the shares, they will go to the stock market. Today's price 1194. How many shares I want to buy? 4 shares, 5,000 rupees. Along with commission and all, it will come around 5,000 rupees. I will pay it and take shares. Okay, in today's date, I am the shareholder of Reliance, holding 4 shares. Okay, few days later, when the company is not so much performing, or I am having a cash crunch, I want cash now. Okay, I will sell the shares in the stock market. If I am willing to sell abdina, somewhere down the line someone will be willing to buy it. Able to understand? That person will buy and I am selling it, so it is going to match, and then I will sell the shares and take money. Able to understand? Okay, more about this, there's lot more on this which you will be studying in your intermediate level and final level especially you will be studying. Okay, there's whole topic called derivatives, and that will be the entire subject that you will be studying. As a whole subject you will be studying. Seriya? For now, stock market is a place where companies will go and list their shares, and from there people can buy and sell. Okay, listed company, those companies are called as listed company. Those companies which are not going to stock market are called as unlisted companies. In case of unlisted companies, if I itself go and approach the company, only I will get shares. I should go personally visit the company, understand about the company, then I can purchase the shares. That is how private companies give shares. இப்போ என் ஃப்ரெண்ட் ஒரு கம்பெனி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி நடத்துறாரு அப்படின்னா எனக்கு கண்டிப்பாக தெரியும் வரும்ல, மை ஃப்ரெண்ட் இஸ் ரன்னிங் அ கம்பெனி. ஐ வில் கோ அண்ட் சி வாட் இஸ் த கம்பெனி அபவுட், ஹவு த கம்பெனி இஸ் ஒர்க்கிங், ஹவு இஸ் த பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் ஆஃப் த கம்பெனி. தென் ஐ வில் ஆஸ்க் ஹிம், சார் நானும் இதில் ஒரு ஷேர் ஹோல்டராக வரலாமா? இஃப் ஹி says okay, if he puts some conditions, if the conditions are okay for me, I will come into that company as a shareholder. Able to understand? Like in that same case, public company also will have shares, but it cannot advertise much. Able to understand? If it is going to advertise abdina, who can advertise? Only listed companies can advertise that they are coming up with shares. But that is how Zomato, aprom Swiggy, Zepto, IPO ன்னு சொல்லி சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்கல்ல, initial public offering, all those companies become listed. Then when they list, these people who are waiting for it will go and buy the shares. Clear? Listed companies and unlisted companies. இங்கே படிச்சிட்டு இருந்தோம். Where did we leave, ma? Next one, government companies. See, sometimes as part of the procedure or the law, or as part of some recovery measures, the government itself will invest in the shares of the company. Okay, if the government is investing in that particular company, if more than 51% of the share capital is held by central government alone, or central government along with any of the state governments, or only one state government, or along with one state government any other state government, then it is called as a government company. Able to understand? Government company means in a means any company in which not less than 51%. Ma, not less than 51% na enna? More than or equal to 51% is held by central government or by any state government or government, which means Tamil Nadu state government or Tamil Nadu state government. Yes, pottana. Tamil Nadu state government plus Karnataka state government plus Kerala state government plus Andhra state government. In the mari, one state government or many governments, many state governments, or partly by central government and partly by one or more state governments, then that company is a subsidiary of such government company. Able to understand ma? Clear? Government company abdina, government company is a company in which central government or state government or state governments or partly by central government and partly by state governments invest in a company. That company will be called as subsidiary of a government company. Able to understand? Clear? Entire thing is given as part of table. Next one, foreign company. Foreign company means any company or a body corporate incorporated outside India, but has a place of business in India, whether by itself or through an agent physically or through electronic mode, and conducts any business activity in India. Now what happens is, all this while this Tesla did not come to India, correct? But do you think there's no influence of Tesla in India? Definitely there's a person who's managing things from here, but avungalukku business inga illa. Where is it getting registered? US, correct? It is a company registered outside India, but it is having a place in India, or it has been represented by an agent in India and conducts some business in India. Right now they started this manufacturing industry in Tesla oda manufacturing inge varudhu inga India la, Andhra la nenikiren. Theriyuma? Edada idea irukka? I think it is coming in Andhra, adoda manufacturing unit, and it is in final levels of talk. Okay, so this company is registered somewhere outside India, but it is having a place of business. Ma, manufacturing unit is a place of business ma. Manufacture panni ingiyum da vikka poranga, correct? It is having a place of business here and it is doing business either through its own name or through its agent. Able to understand? Then that company is called as a foreign company. Then last, formation of companies with charitable objects. Charitable objects na section 8 company already we discussed, correct? What is the purpose of those charitable companies? Promote charitable objects of commerce, art, science, sports, education, research, social welfare, religion, charity, protection of environment, and much more also. So the objective is to not earn profits, but to promote something related to environment, culture, sports, science, all of this. Clear? It could be also promoting a trade. Ma, இந்த பக்கம் இந்த மார்க்கெட்லாம் போனீங்க அப்படின்னா அது என்ன, அந்த மார்க்கெட்டுக்குன்னு ஒரு அசோசியேஷன் இருக்கும், பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, கரெக்டா? அந்த மார்க்கெட் பிளேஸில் அவர் யாருக்கு அலாட் பண்ணுறாங்களோ அவங்க தான் சேல் பண்ண முடியும் அந்த இடத்துல, ப்ராப்பராக பண்ணோன்னா. ஓகே, அதே போல் ஒரு ப்ரைஸ்ன்னு ஒன்று டிசைட் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா அந்த மார்க்கெட்டோட ஹெட்டு, அந்த அசோசியேஷன் என்ன ப்ரைஸ் சொல்லுதோ அந்த ப்ரைஸில் தான் எல்லாருமே சேல் பண்ணோம். யூ cannot go beyond that, or you cannot go very much lesser to that. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள்மா, கோயம்பேடு மார்க்கெட், சிஎம்பிடி மார்க்கெட் எடுத்துக்கோங்க. இப்போ ரைட் நோ மேங்கோ சீசன், correct? 1 kg mango, usually it is 60 rupees, correct? Now you can go beyond the 60 or you can go below the 60, but the difference should be within 5% range. 5% of 60 rupees is 3, correct? Now you can go beyond the 60 abdina, maximum you can go to 63. அதே போல you can come below the 60 abdina, maximum 57 you can come down. Beyond 57, if you come down, it will influence the other people in the market, correct? Only one people will be selling. Monopoly can be created there, isn't it? To curb that, as an association, all the sellers should be benefited. So let us fix a price. If you want to fluctuate from that price, I am giving you a leverage of 5%. And this decision who will make? That association head will make. And the decision will be approved by all the members. Okay, and they will stick on to that single price, so that all the sellers are having equal opportunity of getting their goods sold. பக்கத்து கடை இருக்கு, if I am selling for 50 rupees and the next person is selling for 60 rupees அப்படினா, I will be the preferred person, correct? And he will not be having any opportunity to sell. To curb this, to stop the monopoly, they create an association, or that association can be turned up into a company also, for promoting the trade of that particular area. Understood? Such company intends to apply its profit in promoting the objects and prohibits the payment of any dividend to its members. Okay, dividend கொடுக்குற மாதிரி ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷனை நீங்கள் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா, இயர் ஆன் இயர் உங்களுக்கு ப்ராஃபிட்டை ஏர்ன் பண்ணும் அப்படின்ற ஃபோக்கஸ்க்கு போயிடுவீங்க. Okay, once your focus is moving from object to profit, then object is sacrificed. Then no more you are a Section 8 company. Okay, so you need not pay dividend to the members of Section 8 companies. Now, after allowing for you to operate as a Section 8 company, central government will register such person or association, and that company will be limited liability without any addition words limited or private limited to its company name. Means Section 8 company can operate as a Section 8 company without adding the word limited or private limited to its name. And it will be done by issuing a license on certain conditions. The registrar shall apply the register, shall on application register such person. On registration, the company shall enjoy the same privileges and obligations of a limited company. If you are not following any conditions that is given to you, okay, if any Section 8 company, for example, today I am starting as a Section 8 company, I am getting more foreign funds to do good welfare in the city of Chennai. சென்னை சிட்டியை இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுறது, சென்னையில் இருக்க பீப்புளை வந்து ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை வந்து படிக்க வைக்கிறது, இந்த மாதிரி. ஃபார் திஸ் பர்பஸ் ஐ எம் அட்ராக்டிங் டொனேஷன்ஸ், ஃபண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் ஆல் ஃப்ரம் வேரியஸ் பார்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் தி வேர்ல்ட். Imagine after getting funds, I am not employing the funds for that purpose. I am using the funds for building my house. How it will be? Okay, if I am given license for doing such charitable operations or educational activities, I should use it for that purpose only. If I am not using abdina, basic condition itself it is broke. Okay, government can revoke the license. Revoking the license na enna? Take back the license to operate as a Section 8 company. See, government may order revoking of license if it contravenes any of the requirements or conditions of this section. Automatically your name will be striked out from the registrar, and then you have to convert yourself as a private company. Next, order of central government. இப்போ இந்த ஆர்டர் கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி the central government can see various options that are available. See, you are a good person only, you have formed this company with a good object, but you don't know how to do. You are getting good funds, எல்லாமே உனக்கு நல்ல இன்டென்ஷன் இருக்கு, வாங்கின ஃபண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாமே பேங்க்ல தான் இருக்கு, you did not misuse, but you are not using it for the purpose you started the company. You don't know how to manage things. What I will do, I will amalgamate your Section 8 company with another Section 8 company. Okay, because he knows how to do, but he does not have fund. You have fund, you don't know how to do. I will try to amalgamate you both. Objective is attained. Able to understand? All these are some of the privileges or order that the central government can pass. See, the government in the public interest may get your company amalgamated with another company which is having similar objects to form a single company. Okay, and when if at all it merges abdina, it can merge and do the obligation as a one single company to promote whatever welfare what they want. Next one, if you are still contravening, now then penalty or punishment is given. What is the penalty? Which is punishable with the fine which shall not be less than 10 lakh rupees and which may extend up to 1 crore. Apna, which means what is the punishment ma? What is the punishment ma? It is always more than or equal to 10 lakhs, maximum 1 crore. Okay, and the directors and every officer in the company who is at default shall be punishable with a fine not less than 25,000. Not less than abdina, not less than means more than or equal to 25,000, but maximum 25 lakhs. Okay, provided that when it is proved affairs of the company are conducted fraudulently, இது இல்லாம அதாவது மேலே சொன்ன கான்ட்ரவென்ஷன் இல்லாமல் இஃப் யூ ஆர் இன்வால்விங் இன் அண்டர் எனி ஃப்ராட் அப்படின்னா யூ வில் ஆல்சோ பி பனிஷ்ட் அண்டர் 447. Then we have the significant points. The significant point is very important. Very important ma, very important. Now whatever we have discussed there is given as part of significant. Under the significant also, last 4 points are important because this is not given in the para. One, general meeting of the company can be done within 14 days of notice. Ma, general meeting na, what is general meeting? Any decision you have to make, you cannot do it on your own. You have to tell the shareholders and shareholders should approve it. Correct? And when you're saying you have to call the shareholders, it is not like giving one call and asking them to come tomorrow. Today you call and tomorrow they come. That is not how it goes. You have to give 21 days clear notice. Clear notice na enna, neenga post la send pandra day and the day they receive, that should not be counted. Okay, in between that 21 clear days should be there. Okay, usually for all other company types this is 21 days notice, but in case of this section 8 companies it is okay if you give just 14 days notice. Likewise, requirement of minimum number of directors is not applicable. In case of a private company, minimum 2 directors should be there. In case of a public company, minimum 3 directors should be there. This minimum directorship is not there in case of section 8 company. Need not constitute nomination and remuneration committee. Now what is this nomination and remuneration? Nomination na enna? Nomination, nominate, nomination. Nomination means trying to approve someone or giving a preference to someone. Correct? Correct. Now if I have to bring an auditor to my company, what I should do? I should see first of all who are all the good people there, good auditors there. Correct? Then if I find 5 options abdina, then I can bring that 5 options and show. Adhe pola there are people, good directors also necessary for doing company. Just like I myself and my friend came together and started my company abdina, we are from science background. Science background, I don't know how to do accounts. Correct? Accounts is very integral part of a business. Financing is integral part of business. Appo adile best irukra people I should bring as directors. Isn't it for a company? Can I bring some random people into the company? No. So what the company will do, see, idella 4-5 பேர் இருக்க கம்பெனில I am talking about some company which is doing actually big business. Okay, for them they will have a committee called as nomination and remuneration committee. This committee will try to fetch good people as directors and it will try to identify for which what can be the responsibility that could be given to him or her. Okay, and for that work which they are doing, what kind of remuneration can be fixed for him or her. So this committee's work is to identify good people. She's taking notes. This committee will try to identify good people and try to understand what remuneration can be given. அப்போ இந்த கமிட்டி இருக்க வேண்டிய அவசியம் யாருக்கு இல்ல, செக்ஷன் 8 க்கு கிடையாது. Partnership company, partnership firm can become a member of section 8 companies. Okay, section 8, 2 minutes time. please read, please read. Don't sleep. If you're sleeping now, go face wash and come. Yes, ma. Last 30 minutes we'll try to finish this chapter and go. This chapter is complete, not 12 marks in our hand. Okay, shall we revise now? Okay, what is the purpose of forming Section 8 companies? To promote culture, art, all of that. Okay, now for a Section 8 company, does it require to have a nomination remuneration committee? No, it is not necessary. Is a Section 8 company allowed to do business for profit? No, it cannot allowed for doing business for profit purposes. Is there any minimum directorship requirement for a Section 8 company? No, there is no minimum directorship that is required for doing a Section 8 company. If you are contravening any conditions, will the central government sit quiet and watch? No. What it can do? It can revoke the license, or it can amalgamate your company with another Section 8 company to promote same objectives. Okay. This illama what all conditions that we saw? What all conditions are there in Section 8? Section 8 need not use the word limited or private limited. In case if the license is revoked, then it will convert into a private company. Then it has to use the word private company. No minimum share capital is required. Likewise, its motive is to not profits, it's to not earn profits, it is to promote the objects. Dividends need not be given to the members of the company. Likewise, license can be either, we discussed already, conditions contravened abdina, license will be revoked. If at all on revocation, central government may direct to convert its status na Section 8 to private, able to understand, and change its name. In case of contravention, the central government may direct to wind up the company or amalgamate with another company having similar objective. Then in case of general meeting, instead of 21 days, it can give only 14 days notice. Able to understand? Can we sum it up now? Yes. Limited to unlimited irundhuke romba nariya procedures jaasti varum, but you can do, no one will stop, you can do. Okay, can we sum up? Try to recollect along with me. Section 8 is for promoting what? Art, culture, science, sports, research, all of this. Okay, whether Section 8 is for profit or non-profit. Whether it can whether it can give dividend to its members. Need not give any dividend to the members. What is the requirement for conducting a general meeting? 14 days notice or 21 days notice? Instead of giving 21 days, 14 days clear notice is enough. 14 days notice is enough. What is the requirement of minimum capital? No requirement of minimum capital. What is the requirement with respect to directorship? No minimum directorship is required. What is the requirement with respect to nomination and remuneration committee? No need for having such a committee in place. In case if you are not following the conditions which you took up for Section 8 company, what will happen? Your license can be revoked. When your license is revoked, what happens to your name? It can be changed, and private or public limited can be added to your name. Next, if the central government decides to revoke, what are all three options are there? Revoke what? Revokes the license. If the central government revokes the license, what three options are there? 1, winding up of the Section 8 company. 2, amalgamate your company with another company having same objectives. 3, change the status from Section 8 to private company or public company, and along with that change your name also. Why to change the name? மா நேம்னா ப்ரைவேட் லிமிடெட் கிடையாது. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள்மா ஹெல்பிங் ஹேண்ட்ஸ் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். இப்போது ஹெல்பிங் ஹேண்ட்ஸ் கம்பெனின்னு மாற்ற முடியுமா? நோ, தி ஆப்ஜெக்ட் இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட். கரெக்டாக? அப்போது ப்ராப்பராக ஒரு கம்பெனி நேமை நீங்கள் மாற்றணும். ஹெல்பிங் ஹேண்ட்ஸ்னு வச்சுக்கூடாது. புரியுதா? Understood? All these are the few things that we are studying under section 8. Next item, dormant company, nidhi company and public financial institute. Dormant company is nothing but an inactive company. Inactive company, why will someone start an inactive company? To hold any investment they may start. Okay, see, it is for a future project or to hold an asset or an intellectual property. It does not have any significant transaction. Ma, only that one single phrase will be the keyword ma, avladha. What is significant accounting transaction? Significant, you can say a company is not having significant accounting transaction if you find that only these four are there. Significant accounting transaction means any transaction other than payment of fees by a company to a registrar, payment made by it for fulfillment of requirements of this act, allotment of shares to fulfill the requirements of this act, payments for maintenance of its records, office and records. Now, when you say a dormant company, it is an inactive company. Correct? Or inactive company ku enna minimum selavu irukum? Minimum enna selavu irukum? Ma, company la business nadakudho illiyo, whatever annual returns you have to file to the registrar, you have to file. Correct? Whatever other in the act la math act la enna file panna solrangalo, those returns you have to file. And minimum whatever allotment of shares ku neenga spend pannumo, and the allotment expenses will be there. Allotment பண்ணும்போது you would require the help of a professional person, CA, CMI, CS. அவங்களுக்கு பேமெண்ட் கொடுப்பீங்கன்னா அந்த எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ் will be there. Apart from that, நீங்கள் ஆஃபீஸில் இன்கார்பரேஷனுக்கு ரெக்கார்ட்ஸ் வச்சுருப்பீங்க, அலாட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ரெக்கார்ட்ஸ் வச்சுருப்பீங்க. இந்த ரெக்கார்ட்ஸை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுறதுக்கு you need a small place or a premises. அந்த premises-க்கு you will be giving some amount. Apart from these four, if you are not incurring any other expense, then you are a dormant company. Okay, if you are saying a business, normal business company abdina, you will have purchases, sale, adukaprom direct expense, indirect expense, advertisement, idu mari nariya expense irukum. But if you are incurring only these four expenses, then you can say that you do not have any significant accounting transactions. These are all basic transaction. Whether a company does a business or not, all these four expenses will be there. Okay, apart from these four, you are not having any expenses, then you are called as a dormant company. Next one, nidhi company. Nidhi means what? Nidhi company or a mutual benefit society. What is the meaning of nidhi? Nidhi means fund. Okay, the purpose of starting a nidhi company is to enhance the saving or encourage the saving activity between the people. Okay, now there's one segment of people, they will be trying to save more. Okay, particularly within their community, they will try to save by helping one another. Okay, over the point of time, what they happen to do is, between their company, between their society, they started a small bank like structure. அவங்க கம்யூனிட்டிக்குள்ளே மட்டும் they will start a bank like structure. அப்போது அவங்க கம்யூனிட்டி மெம்பர்ஸ் கிட்ட ஃபண்ட்ஸ் வாங்கி அவங்க கம்யூனிட்டி மெம்பர்ஸ்க்கே லோனாக கொடுப்பாங்க. Okay, they will not try to take any outside funds. அதாவது அவங்க கம்யூனிட்டியை தாண்டி they will not try to collect any amount. அதே போல் when they are giving loans also, they will not give any loans to any outside people. Within their community, என் கம்யூனிட்டியில் இந்த பர்டிகுலர் சென்னையில் say for example ஒரு 10,000 people இருக்காங்களா, my activity will be only with regard to those 10,000 people. Example, Jains. Okay, இப்போ அந்த கம்யூனிட்டி பீப்புள் எடுத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா they will do super business. கரெக்டா? and their house will be joint family. If they want to என்ன சொல்கிறது, save any amount அப்படின்னா usually they will not go to any private banks. அவங்க கம்யூனிட்டிக்குள்ளே இந்த மாதிரி நிதி கம்பெனிஸ் will be there. They will go there and put their money inside that nidhi company, and funds of that nidhi company will be again used by the same community members for taking loans. அப்போ இதை தவிர வேற பர்பஸே இல்லை அந்த நிதி கம்பெனி. தென் such company is called as நிதி கம்பெனி. இட் நீட் நாட் பி ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்டட் டு ஓன்லி such community. அந்த கம்யூனிட்டிக்கு அந்த நிதி கம்பெனி, இன்னொரு கம்யூனிட்டி will have their own நிதி கம்பெனி, அந்த மாதிரி it will go. Able to understand ma? You're able to understand what I'm saying, everyone? See, means a company which the central government by notification declares to be nidhi company. It may be created mainly for cultivating the habit of thrift and savings amongst its members. Okay, it will not go outside its community. Next one, public financial institution. What is a public financial institution abdina? See, any company, any PFI means public financial institution. Any company which is started by a statute or a law. Ma statute law means any company that is formed by an act. Ma LIC is formed by Life Insurance Corporation Act 1956. Correcta? அதே போல IDFC, Infrastructure Development Finance Company, is backed by some act. Able to understand? All of the insurance company is formed by IRDA Act. Okay, all those companies which are formed by a statute or a law, those companies will be called as public financial institutions. So for a அப்போ மேலே கொடுத்துருக்கிறதுலாம் என்னமா, இதெல்லாம் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் ஆஃப் பப்ளிக் ஃபினான்ஷியல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ். சி, LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India, established under Life Insurance Corporation Act 1956. Infrastructure Development Finance Company is again supported by IDFC Act. Specified company referred to under Unit Trust of India is supposed to be formed under Unit Trust of India Act 2002. Likewise, every company is backed by a statute, okay, statute or an act, then that company will be called as a PFI. If at all you want to start a PFI, if at all we want to start a PFI, then there are two conditions. One, it is to be established by a central act or a state act. Innone not less than 51% is held by the government. Ma, share capital should be held by government, central government, state government, or together central government plus state government. Able to understand? Then you can start a PFI. So what are the two conditions? First one, it has to be constituted by a central or a state. Now we have really reached a saturation point almost today. Okay va? Mudila. Either last 10 minutes you have to support or I have to even more shout on you. ரெண்டுமே நடக்காது போல் தெரியுது. Open your mouth and talk. What are the two conditions that are there? Constituted by a central or a state act and not less than 51% should be held by the central government or combined state government or partly by central government and partly by state government. Understood? So with this, that topic is over. Coming to classification of capital. So with this we'll close for today. Sariya? Yes. Classification of capital. First one is nominal capital, authorized capital or registered capital. Now I already told you memorandum, MOA, memorandum is the four walls for a business, correct? Now inside this four walls only the company will say maximum what capital you can collect. Okay, maximum capital that can be collected is called as authorized capital, registered capital or nominal capital. The company is authorized to take how much capital that is mentioned in the ROA is called as authorized, MOA is called as authorized capital. Now out of this authorized capital, which means MOA is authorizing me to take 20 lakhs as authorized. Up to 20 lakhs I can take share capital. Now out of this authorized share capital, it is for me to decide how much of capital I have to give it for subscription. Able to understand? Out of 20 lakhs, I want to give for subscription 10 lakhs share capital. This is called as subscribed, sorry, issued capital. Issued means how much I am coming to issue for you. Out of this issue, you need not take 10 lakhs, correct? It is for you to decide how much you want to take. Out of 10 lakhs of issue, you have subscribed only for 8 lakhs. This is called as subscribed share capital. So authorized how much I want to issue. Out of that issue, how much you are taking is called as subscribed. Able to understand? Issued capital, subscribed capital. Now out of this subscribed 8 lakhs share capital you have subscribed, how much is the paid up capital? Paid up na enama? See, for example, 10 rupees face value is divided into 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3. 2 is for application, allotment, first call, second call. Now in the first three application happens in April, May, October, December, correct? Apo as of May you would have collected 2 plus 2, correct? So your paid up capital as on May will be 4 rupees. As on October will be how much ma? 7 rupees. Okay, as of December will be 10 rupees. Entire subscribed capital will be paid up. There is nothing left to receive from the shareholder. Able to understand? But at the same time, called up capital will be what you have called up for. Now in between May to October we have nadula how many months ma? At least 4 months gap is there. Now in this 4 month, இன்னைக்கு நான் கால் பண்ணி நாளைக்கே எல்லாரும் பே பண்றாங்களா? No, there's some time gap. After collecting allotment 4 rupees allot பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் after May, only in the month of, say for example, in the month of July, I am calling 2 more rupees or 3 more rupees அப்படினா called up capital is totally 2 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, once that 3 rupees is received, called up capital will match the paid up capital of 7. And after receiving in October, I will one more time call up 3 rupees. Called up capital will be 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3. And in the month of, say, November, what will be the called up capital? Called up capital 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3, correct? Paid up capital in the month of November will be 2 plus 2 plus 3 only, because last December la dhaan vandu namakku receive agudhu, correct? Appo in the month of December, called up also will be same, paid up also will be same. Able to understand? 4 types of capital. Now again, under share capital we have 2 types of share capital. One equity share capital, innone preference share capital. Now if we study of a preference share capital, what is the meaning of preference share capital? Ma, compared to equity, preference share capital will be given more preference. Compared to equity, preference share people will be given more preference. Madam, preference in what? Preference in payment of dividend. Preference in payment of dividend. And at the same time, in case of winding up, ella outsiderkum kuduthathu poga, whatever is standing as a balance, that is left for shareholders, correct? Shareholders includes equity plus preference, but as a preference shareholder, whatever is left out of giving after paying to outsiders, whatever is left, first preference will be given to preference shareholders, then whatever is the balance will be given to equity shareholders. So in 2 areas these people are getting preference. One, payment of dividend, innone settlement of amount after it is winding up, after the company is being wound up. Able to understand ma? And next one, equity share capital. Equity share capital is having two categories. One vandu equity share capital having uniform share rights, innone having differential voting rights or share rights. Now what is this uniform share rights and differential voting rights? Differential voting rights, DVR nu solvanga. Okay, usually If you are having one share abdina, you have one voting power. One share abdina, one voting power. This is called as uniform rights. Okay, but in few cases, if you are having one share, it means you are having 10 voting rights. This is called as differential voting rights. This is called as what? Differential voting rights. Why? Because the type of share is very the risk is more there in nature. Able to understand ma நீங்க ஒரு கம்பெனில போய் ஒரு ஷேர் ஹோல்டரா உள்ள போறீங்க அப்படினா you as a shareholder will enjoy both the risk and the reward. Yes or no? Yes or no? Correct. But in the class of shareholders will be having more risk than other shareholders. A company need not have same types of shares being issued. Correct? There are different classes of shares that can be issued. For example, I'm planning for a issue of share capital. இப்போ நான் ஷேர் கேபிட்டல் இஷ்யூ பண்ணும்போது ஐ ஹாவ் டு கிவ் ப்ராஸ்பெக்டஸ் ஸ்டேட்டிங் ஃபார் வாட் பர்பஸ் ஐ எம் கோயிங் டு கலெக்ட் திஸ் ஷேர் கேபிட்டல். அதுக்குன்னு நான் ஒரு ப்ராஸ்பெக்டஸ் கொடுப்பேன். அந்த ப்ராஸ்பெக்டஸில் ஐ வில் ஹாவ் டு இன்ஃபார்ம் தி ஷேர் ஹோல்டர் ஃபார் வாட் பர்பஸ் ஐ எம் கலெக்டிங் திஸ் ஷேர் கேபிட்டல். Imagine in that prospectus I am going to mention that this is going to be a share capital that is for this class, and share capital which I receive will be used for a altogether new project, new business. See, நான் இத்தனை டைட்டன் அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு என்ன ஞாபகம் வருது? வாட்ச். கரெக்டா? இப்போ imagine Titan is going to venture into some hotel industry. ஹோட்டல்லையும் இருக்காங்க, பட் அவங்க எதுக்கு ஃபேமஸ்மா? வாட்ச். இப்போ இந்த ஷேர் கேபிட்டல் நான் கலெக்ட் பண்ணி ஹோட்டல் பிஸ்னஸை இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ண போறேன் அப்படின்னா நீங்க ஆஸ் அ ஷேர் ஹோல்டர் உங்களுக்கு ரிஸ்க் கம்மியா ஜாஸ்தியா? இதே ஷேர் கேபிட்டல் நான் வாட்சுக்கே யூஸ் பண்ண போறேன் அப்படின்னா ரிஸ்க் கம்மியா ஜாஸ்தியா? கம்மி. அப்போ now this new class of share capital is coming up with a higher risk. Yes or no? So should I not enjoy a higher voting capacity? Yes. Okay, அப்போ நான் இந்த இடத்துல ஒரு ஷேர் வாங்கினாலும் அதுக்கு ரெஸ்பெக்டிவா I am getting 10 voting rights. The share ஓட voting rights is differential in nature. According to the class of share, the differential voting rights can be enjoyed by the shareholders, and this will be prior information will be given in the prospectus itself. Able to understand? So what are the two types of share capital? Equity and preference. Under equity we have uniform voting rights, innone differential voting rights. Differential voting rights, when it can come, I just gave you a circumstance where even if I hold one share I can enjoy 10 voting rights. Okay, in this case I will be called as a differential voting shareholder. Purida. Now we will be left with only memorandum on association, articles of association. If at all possible, tomorrow we will try to finish the class. But how far are you comfortable with this topic? Doctrine of indoor management, doctrine of ultra virus, constructive notice, மூணுமே தெரியுமா? மூணுமே தெரியும். You will learn on your own. Case study கேட்டா சொல்வீங்க இப்போ ஆன்சர். I don't want to go with the case law and all ma. தெரியும் தெரியாது கரெக்டா சொல்லுங்க. Or we will try to touch upon that area slightly. What do you say? மேலோட்டமா கொஞ்சம். Okay, tomorrow's class we will see. I will tell you the timing. So with this we are closing for the class today. Thank you.